Hey guys, welcome back to Life Up Education TV. In today's video, I wanted to talk about mindset management matters. And okay, so let me lay some groundwork here to build up to why I wanted to talk about this. But certain people in the industry, motivational speaking and just leadership, like a speaking industry, some people kind of demonize that motivation is bullshit, or people talk about it. But I think it's very dangerous to go extreme as something doesn't have a value, because it's highly contextual. Sometimes everything has its space in this world. Even if something is bad for you, that very same thing is not necessarily bad for other situation. So same thing goes here. Whenever I hear people saying that, I kind of question it, because that's that person's opinion, and I don't have to listen to it. I have my own understanding of when it's useful for someone like a motivational speaker to give me the motivation, That being said, so what is my point? I wanted to talk about how we calculate the formula we use to calculate inflation. So we're talking about macroeconomics here. I studied economics, and by the way, macroeconomics was one of my favorite subjects to study. So the way we calculate inflation actually has a space, the consideration for people's future expectation of the current economy. What does that mean? In the economics level, everything we experience today is man-made. We literally made all the concepts, and there's no way that things that coming from us, emotional being, has no emotion, right? Does it make sense? So, even if we talk about hardcore science, I guess it's not necessarily hardcore science here, but economy, things that's has great implication of how we live daily life, definitely has people's expectation as a space inside of it. So we are talking about at the macro scale now, but individual life as well. We manifest the kind of results that we expect for ourselves. We wouldn't even want to do something if we don't have that motivation to begin with. Things happen because you have the vision. Things happen because you have the motivation. Things happen because you want it, right? So I think to a degree, I guess I understand when someone says motivation talk itself is too, I guess, overrated. Why? Because as much as I put so much emphasis on how important having a motivation is, and just external push, right? But at the same time, I also think that equally having that discipline is important. You don't have to push yourself, but it's more it's your standard. It's just practical. It's what needs to happen for you to fulfill who you are. It's not even nice dream. It's part of you. It's you're collective, you're collecting who you are. You're just doing what you gotta do with your soul. It's soul's work, as I like to call it. So it's not even motivation, the ambition. It's more you doing what you're meant to be. You doing what it takes for you to become who you're meant to be. So I think both are important perspectives. Hey guys, welcome back to Life Up Education TV. In today's video, I wanted to talk about verbal conditioning. So what is verbal conditioning? Verbal conditioning is the way you frame or express verbally about something, really reinforce your perception, reinforce how you're thinking about certain things. And I often talk about how verbal conditioning really matters when you talk about yourself, for example. And really the reason behind it is I truly believe that whatever you look for, like biologically and scientifically, I think even with how your brain works, whatever you look for, you find. And what does that mean? It means that it all kind of has to start from your like belief of like who you are, what you're looking for, what you want, and then your brain is like really turn on for this like lookout for whatever the information that's relevant to whatever you're looking for inside of your head. So that's how basically verbal conditioning works. And when we talk about that, if all you are thinking about is internally within your head, there might be a time that comes where you feel like, but you like it's only you who are thinking that. And like for example, if you say I'm smart, and then you're constantly looking for information that confirms you for your belief, to make yourself more confident about that fact. But in the end of the day, if you're not receiving, for example, like a Nobel Prize, or if you're not receiving like outside confirmation from like external factors, there could be a space for cynicism, and you'd be like, but like, you know, it's whatever, like it's a bullshit, like it's just something that I'm thinking about myself and I'm not getting any confirmation from people outside, right? And I think default should be that attitude anyways. Like even if you don't get that reward that you wish you could, like the default should always be like believing in what you want to believe in instead of like believing in what you are told to believe in. So I think it's still very important concept that you keep believing what you want to believe. But that being said, I wanted to talk about your ambition and your mental health. So your ambition. So I spoke about absolute success versus relative success. And as I described it earlier before in another video, absolute success basically lets you consider your position in relation to other data points. You want to compare yourself with in relation to others. Versus like relative success is coming from your like internal self and be like, you know, whatever the result is, like this is building my character, I'm like becoming better, I'm building more confident, like so. And then basically the point of this story is you need both absolute success and relative success. And then absolute success is also about luck. So absolute success is like you knowing, being at the right place at the right time, knowing the right information, having the right resource, like you being prepared for that, like best luck, and then you become successful. So luck, right? But relative success is more like constantly, every day, literal, like you're working on it every day so that you can position yourself to have the best luck for absolute success. So that's another way I describe it. But basically, that being said, you do need both. And when we talk about your ambition versus mental health, I kind of relate this concept with that. Absolute success being like your ambition, and relative success being more like a mental health side. So what do I mean? I see absolute success being way more like a short-term success versus like relative success being more long-term success. And short-term success basically kind of rewards your insecurity, unhappiness, and competitiveness, versus like long-term success basically rewards your being humble, you being inspired, and you being hungry. What do I mean? So insecurity. So this is like, I guess, negative way to put it, like being ambitious versus like opposite of that, or maybe in the same concept, but in a very different way to describe it, is you being not satisfied with what you have, insecure about what you don't have, right? So you can easily come up with a narration to say, I don't have enough, I want to win and let people lose because you're competitive. I need things and affirmation 100% to feel that I'm worthy. Like that's one way to put it. But again, like this is very negative way to put it. Versus like relative success, like more long-term mental health success. You can definitely wish for that luck to happen, right? Like you can definitely pull from that direction of like, I need to get the reward, I need to get, you know, some sort of like external affirmation, confirmation from myself to feel like 100% confident about my capability, like stuff like this. Like we all need that. Like, you know, good example would be like Beyonce, for example. Like if I say I'm a great singer, which even if I believe I am, like compared to Beyonce, maybe, not even maybe, like I wouldn't be considered as a great singer, as great as Beyonce, for example, because she's got all these like hours and, you know, her track record. So that's basically like absolute success, and also like ambition, like a quick success, affirmation, confirmation that we need. But instead of like looking at it as like, I just need to get somewhere, that's when relative success kicks in, aka I describe it as mental health kicks in, which I say, instead of you being insecure or I guess unhappy and competitive, and then about like, you know, having that one success that makes you feel good, like worthy, and always relying on that, instead of that, you can be like, you can instead be humble, inspired, and hungry, and then come up with a narration that says, I'm thankful for what I have already, and I want to live an inspired life, and I stand by the idea. So not necessarily I want to compete and like let everyone else lose so I can win and I can feel worthy, but instead, like you're in it for the bigger group. Like you're standing by the idea you're promoting. Like for example, for Beyonce, right? So instead of her having that ambition of like, I need to get this award for me to feel better, like that should come as a result. Like you should stand on the idea of like entertaining people, bringing the hope, bringing the inspiration, bringing the excitement to the world. So in that way, whoever wins, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't bother your mental health. Like the win doesn't come at your cost of your mental health. So that comes with way more like abundance mindset.